Well, welcome to your Wrexham reaction. Yes, I am not Josh. Josh is ill and not feeling well. It is time for your Wrexham reaction show. Well, what a game. Holy dooly. Wrexham getting up 3-2 in extra time. Absolute gangbuster. Welcome, everybody. Let's get into it. Let's have a look at this result. Mertland, first one in. Do a Wrexham. Nice one. I love it. Yes, Mertland, you did win. So fantastic. Good to see we are up and away. And oh my God, what a result. Seriously, that was a game to behold. Let's face it, we had to travel away to Preston North End. So that's a great win to win 3-2 against them, who just beat Ipswich on the weekend. We had a full change of lineup, a whole new 11, as opposed to our weekend game. So you can't say we went in there, with our best team or whatever it was. But the guys that were there, they did the job. Congratulations. Well done, boys. I mean, let's face it, Dobbin scored for them in the 7th minute, and I was a little bit nervous. I thought, geez, that was a good goal. And our defence did look shaky at times. But our fans were absolutely massive, helping them get up and get on board and really have a crack. It is really good. So, and there's welcome everybody in as you come in. Don't forget to hit that like button. John Hills, wow, you're right. Averaging just over 2 goals per game. Just need to fix the defence. Couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, we were scored on by Lewis Dobbin in the 7th minute, but a quick and absolutely stunning goal by Ryan Hardy, who was just sort of creeping on the edge of the box on the left side and turned on his player and just whacked it across the front of the keeper into the top corner. It was an absolutely stunning goal. It was fantastic, and then the game settled in and it was really on. And it was just really, really good. So, but then we got to the 32nd minute and Liam Lindsay scored again for them. We were looking shaky in defence. There is zero doubt about that. It did not look great at all. And I was worried that, this was not a good sign of things to come. Scar looked shaky in defence. O'Connell looked shaky in defence. They both did. Callum Doyle, though, looked really good, and he's a player. Came off at the 60th minute mark. John Emley, you said it, getting him ready for Saturday. Will not be surprised to see him get a start on the weekend. He is absolutely an absolute banger. But then we get further into the game. Now, Harry Ashfield, up to that point in time, had turned a couple of players, looked absolutely threatening. And him and Elliot Lee combined up. Elliot Lee got a beautiful little pass off to him. Harry Ashfield set himself, kicked it off his left foot, slight deflection, went in, scored the goal to square the match back up, which was just amazing. He did make a couple of small errors later, but nothing major. And yeah, he did play absolutely great. Harry Ashfield probably doesn't start John Emler, is my opinion. Absolutely not. But what he has shown is that he's more than capable of coming in off the bench and playing a role. Absolutely. Dobbo was rested. Dobbo came on and played a few minutes late. They bought Harry Ashfield off, and I think that was a strategy looking at that point in time. It looked like it could have gone to pens. It was really interesting. And it was, so we were starting to get players on. O'Brien came on. Kieffer Moore came on. All the players that you would expect to step up and take the penalty kicks. But even so, we still pressed forward, pushed on, got all the way to the 90th minute. There was 5 minutes of extra time. In the 92nd minute, great cross. Kieffer Moore gets himself in position, and the keeper just slightly gets bumped. And it was really the defender's fault pushing on Moore. And it was great work by Moore to get himself into that position. It definitely was not a penalty. There was definitely no way. When you look at the replay, Kieffer Moore did nothing wrong. The keeper just couldn't secure the ball. He couldn't quite get himself into the right position that he needed to, unfortunately for him. Dropped the ball, and Kieffer Moore, Johnny on the spot, knocks it away. It was so good. Patrick Oden, interesting. Dobbo looked great again, looking like he's really been working on easing his level. Or was it raising or easing? I'm not sure. He can't play 90, but has a strong 30. Well, you've got to remember, most players shouldn't be playing 90 in the championship level. They just shouldn't. They should be coming off because they should be gassed. It's the midfielders that have to do a lot of the running around typically shouldn't play 90 minutes. At least 2 of them should be coming off. So I've got no dramas with that whatsoever. It's just a matter of what the depth is of your squad to whether you can actually replace them with good players. So it'll be interesting. Obviously, Jack Marriott gone out. He's gone to Reading. It's official. It'll be interesting to see if anyone else comes in this week. Even if they do come in this week, I wouldn't expect to see them starting on the weekend. That has been the way that Parky and the team have done it. Callum Doyle didn't start last week. He did start tonight. But then, every player that's come in hasn't typically gone straight up into the starting lineup. But we're here to talk about the game and what a game it was. If anybody wants to come in and have their say, I'll even open it up for you tonight because it was such a great game. If anybody wants to have something to say. So there we go. I've just thrown the link in there. If anybody wants to come in, I'll have a sip of my coffee. Well, there you go. Patrick Oden didn't miss Matty James today at all. Well, George Evans, for me, totally showed his worth. He's totally fine at this level. He's not the fastest player, but I tell you what, he controls and organises that midfield really, really well. And when you get quick players off him, so imagine if you had Lewis O'Brien and Harry Ashfield, Lewis O'Brien and Dobbo, for instance, which has been the case. I really like Dobbo coming on as a sub. But, there we go. Broadhead as well. He's in obviously there. You get these quick players playing off the Matty Jameses or George Evans of this world, and they look really, really good. So it's just a matter. So Dobson was levels above Evans for me. Different role, John. Totally different role. Evans is controlling the midfield. Dobson is a lever that they use to push an attack or hold in defence. So, different midfielder. So, that's just the way it is. So, but like I said, the link's there if you want to come in and have your say. Yep. But yes, so Evans doesn't probe though, and Dobson will. And that's the difference. So at that point in time when Dobson came on, we were still pushing for the win, but it's more a slightly more defensive position for a couple of people to try and actually hold out and get to the penalties. But didn't need it in the end. Too good. We came in. Yep. So it wasn't their full starting 11 either, Patrick, though, to be fair. But it was definitely they played a lot stronger. They played a lot more of their starters than we did. So, DJ winning on Wednesday and losing on Saturday. Well, when the weekday games start coming in the championship, that'll be fine by me. But at the moment, they're not there yet. So, unfortunately, the Saturday games are the championship games. So we do need to be winning some of those as well. And we do have a tough one this weekend. So, but this is about tonight and the result tonight. And what a great game it was. Great pitch, great opposition. Preston North End played well. Definitely at times looked the better side, but then at other times we looked the better side. So what's that tell me? We're totally in this championship. 100%. We're in this championship. It's absolutely going to continue on. So you just got to keep pushing on and, get these wins in the championship now. So, but anyway, that was the game today. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. If anybody else got anything they'd like to say, don't forget to hit that like. John Olsen, we're closer than the early results suggest. Absolutely, we are. We are closer. Thoughts on Mendy? Mendy was good. Mendy was good tonight. He was solid. He wasn't. He was willing to push himself forward in attack, which was great to see. He was calling out, yelling about players, about making sure everyone was in the right position. I thought he was absolutely fine. I've never been a doubter on Mendy. I thought he's been very unlucky the last couple of seasons with injuries, not getting enough time on the pitch. We're at a level now where he's Is he better than Macca? That's a good question. That's a really good question. Is he better than Macca? Is he a better choice than Macca? Don't know. I think he offers a little bit more in attack than Macca. But, Macca, great in defence, probably lacks a little bit of speed, but he's got a lot of knowledge between the ears. So, yep. So interesting. So it's very interesting. Doyle looked immense. I thought, I tell you what, Doyle did a throw in there at one stage, and I thought it was the worst throw-in I've ever seen in my life, to be honest. It sort of looked like it slipped out of his hand. But that's not what he's there for. With the ball at his feet, he looks absolutely immense. And talk about carrying junk in the trunk. That guy's got the booty, he's got the big glute muscles, and his passing looks sublime. He literally looks like he can spot a lane to kick the ball through. So, that's the other thing. We're talking about Mendy and Macca. It's who's the backup to Kakache, because Kakache is the guy on that side. That's a bit unfair, John. He did. I think if you go back and rewatch the tape, he did beat a man a couple of times. He did get himself into good positions. But I'm not saying he's amazing. I'm just saying I think that's a bit of a harsh comment. So Patrick Oden, Kakache and Barnett start, and Longman on the bench for either side. I absolutely agree with that, Patrick. I think that is a better balanced setup for us as a squad right now. And it's probably to Longman's detriment that he can play both sides in terms of getting in the starting lineup. But it's what's best for the squad, and he can be a real threat coming on either side later in the match, with his level of skill. So I think that's absolutely the case. And Barnett's just got more pace, and I think you need that early on. Sorry, just for a minute, a lot of knowledge between the ears, not too dissimilar to me. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'm just faking it till I make it, just for men. But yeah. So I think I disagree with you there, John. I think no. I'm, and that's fine. You can have your opinion on that, and I disagree with you. And I've been wrong before. Last time I said Palmer was out, he played the very next game. So what would I know? And compared to Longman and Barnett, he's miles off. Yeah, I'm not saying that he's near them, John. Absolutely. I've just said, it's Barnett, Kakache, Longman on the bench. So that's what I think. I don't. Was he better? Yes. Do we keep him? That's my thing. I still think Mendy's probably gone. I think Doyle looks like a Mike Shane. Did you see if our starting formation was any different? No, it wasn't. But we do move around, and we do play the two patterns that I saw that I mentioned in the game day build-up. So if you want to go back and look at that, we did play that tonight. So Doyle looks like a player that is above championship level but lacks the pace at the elite level. I don't know. I need to see more. Yet. What I saw tonight I liked, but I want to see more. Dakota Mike, they're saying that Kakache is out until the September international break. So will he play for New Zealand in the international break? I'll be keeping a close eye on that, because New Zealand will be playing Australia. So, but anyway, we will see. So, Brunt is, and I don't know, no one's commented. Josh changed the intro video. The last 3 intro videos, we turned the volume down a bit, and no one said anything. But anyway, Brunt is also good going forward, but lacks killer passes in the final third. Yeah, Brunt loves to go forward, and Brunt just needs to develop that part of his game, John. I agree with you there. So I think that's absolutely the case. So, got to loan Mendy out. I'm expecting Kakache to come off the bench at Millwall, though Parky said he's on the grass, so he's training on the grass. That's right. But is he ready to play? I mean, technically Cannon's back on the grass, but he's nowhere near ready to come back, because he's coming back from an ACL. So I know Kakache hasn't had that injury, but, we don't know. And that'll be a surprise for the weekend. What I do know is Kieffer Moore will be starting. Kieffer Moore will be starting on the weekend for sure. And I thought Ryan Hardy looks very threatening, and he played the full 90. He won't be starting on the weekend. He might make the bench, but he definitely won't be starting because he played the full 90. I think Broadhead will probably start because Smith played so many minutes tonight, but I don't know. Yeah, I love this. Ken, we didn't notice the intro because it was better. We only both ice when it sounds like the speakers are popping out of the TV. It was a bit loud before and maybe a bit shocking to people, but we're trying to get you in the mood, people. We're trying to get you pumped up. So, John, thoughts on Smith and Hardy? Okay, Hardy's goal was an absolute banger. That is Premier level goal scoring right there, no doubt about it. Smith, had moments. I think it's the supply that's the key for these guys. And with Lee and Ashfield in that centre, in the mid, the attacking midfielders, I think the link-up play, because Ashfield was on the right and Lee on the left. So, and then obviously we had Barney coming down the wing and Mendy coming down the wing and looking for those crosses in. Early on, we've tried the long ball to Smith a couple of times, and their defence was just good enough to hold it out. And Josh mentioned it in the watch-along that it wasn't going to work. It was close, but their defence was well-drilled, well-organised, and I think, I think it was just the fact that we had to find other avenues. What I liked tonight was that I saw players coming through the middle with the ball. We saw Lee with the ball in attacking areas. We saw Ashford with the ball in attacking areas, and then when those two players through the middle. So actually, I'll tell you what I can do. Let's do this. Here we go. Share. Okay. So and if I go back to Ashfield, Smith, Hardy, Lee, when we're attacking and we're attacking in the middle, what I liked tonight was because you had Barney coming down this side, Mendy coming down this side, but when the players got into these sorts of positions, that was when, or there and there and there and there, they could play the ball between these players to try and open up. And Ashfield and Lee were getting the ball, which then creates these opportunities to get the ball to Smith and Hardy at their feet, not in the air and headers. We want headers coming in. That's Kieffer Moore. You want the ball at the feet of Smith and Hardy. That's when they're most threatening. So, Will Doyle's interesting. Doyle had an excellent game. He's definitely worth the price tag. That's Dave Pokey last chance. And Will Doyle's class rub off on other defenders. Absolutely. Also, I'm going to give both O'Connell and Scar a 5 out of 10 tonight. Just average. But when you put Doyle beside Cody and, Cleworth, and you have Brunt on the bench, that's good. That's really good, and I think Brunt, if Doyle starts on the weekend, then Brunt will definitely be on the bench just in case he's a bit gassed. Doyle does like to come forward, and when he did come forward, oh my God, he nearly put through the best pass. So, it's Jesse. If Wednesday can defeat Leeds, I know that Wrexham can defeat Millwall. We can defeat any team in this league, Jesse. That's my opinion on that, because what I've seen in the last few games, we're able to score goals. All we need to do is tighten up our defence, and we're winning games. Simple as that. And in fact, in a couple of the games, we could have scored more goals. So there's absolutely no doubt. So when you looked at this lineup, so if I go from back to front, AO, I'm going to say 8.5 out of 10. Scar 5, O'Connell 5, Doyle 8, 8.5. Just finding the only reason I'm saying not higher is because he's still just finding his place in the squad. Evans had a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10 tonight. Lee 7.5, Ashfield 8. Ashfield provided more options in attack. Barnett 7.5, 7.5 to 8. Mendy 7 to 7.5. Smith, I'm going to say Smith was about a 7 tonight. Yeah, and a lot with Smith and Hardy was the options that they had in attack in terms of the delivery, the service. And Hardy, 8 to 8.5, because 8.5, that goal was a cracker. Then, obviously Moore comes on late, 9 out of 10. Gets himself in the right position, scores a goal to win the match. Have to give him a great score. O'Brien, interesting. O'Brien, I'm going to say, both took 2 corner kicks in a row, and they were both short kicks, which was interesting to me. And that's when we have Kieffer Moore on the pitch. So I don't know. Well, I think, most of your numbers. Draw's a clear 9. Well, see, Dave, you can disagree with my numbers. That's totally fine. This is what I think. I'm more than welcome for you to have your own opinions. Feel free to throw them in the comments. Just because it's my opinion doesn't mean it's right. I'm fine with that. So, Longman probably, 7-ish out of 10. Brunt came on about the same, about a 7. So it's all interesting, and the last 4, they didn't get a start. So George Williams, wow, $49.99, $50 super chat. George, absolute legend. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. It was an absolute pleasure. We really appreciate all the support that we get on the channel here. It does definitely help us out to provide everything that we can for you. Obviously, the boss has gone down sick. He's asked me to fill in, so I'm just seeing if I can live like Josh Anthony standards here, and I'm trying to get to about here. I don't know whether I can bridge the gap. I'm doing my best. Well, so George, but yeah, thank you very much for that. John Emler, tonight really felt like a Wrexham game. He started slow, looked leaky at times, turned it on after 60 minutes, and felt like a team to win the game. Absolutely. George was share the wealth. Ken Pritchard, I love this. I still feel our defence is a weakness. We need a new addition here. As for the rest of the squad, they just need time to gel. Fair call. What a great name too, Ken. You must be an absolute legend. Yeah. And John Emler, hopefully we look like this going forward. Shows how important depth is at this level. Absolutely, John. You have hit the nail right on the head. That's a level of knowledge right there. That's a truth bomb. You do need depth in this league. I love this. Josh, killing it, Ken. I'm in bed. Well, we don't want to hear about your social life, Josh. I know you're sick. Well, you tell us you're sick and now you're in bed. But anyway, that's all good. Moving right along. So, and cheers, mate, Ken. Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's just really interesting because, we've produced a great result there tonight. We really have. And Wrexham is going to come good in the championship. There's no doubt about it. We don't have to worry about that, guys. It will happen. Just need to keep sending apples and vitamins to the race course for our fallen soldiers. Yeah, Patrick. He's talking about all the injuries in the squad. So Thomason out, Cannon out, Kakache down, Windass, and just think about that. All those players that are coming back, how dangerous we're going to be when we get all these players back healthy and fit. Hip Karma down here in Australia. Well, first off, Brian Burton, I think we will give Millwall a handful. Yep. Hip Karma. Ashfield also scores goals and creates opportunities. He's a creator. And he turned a player tonight in that game in the first half. Holy dooly. And as soon as he turned on that player, his first thought was go forward. And if you go back and watch that in the first half and watch what he does there, that's what a lot of our other players don't do. They turn, get the ball, and then they pass it off backwards. And what I love is the fact that he's thinking attack. He's not just thinking, yep, okay, just control it. Don't make the mistake. He's thinking, no, I've turned a guy. I've got him on the back foot. Let's attack and put pressure on this team. So, yeah, Maurice, it is great that Longman can play both sides. Probably not so great for him because I think he will end up being on the bench because of that, which is fine. Yeah. And so John Olsen, another truth bomb right there. Absolutely. And George, you are absolutely right. All these people that say he's not ready, you're wrong. Full stop. You're wrong. I'm right. But you can't do that. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But I'm telling you what, you look at what you saw tonight and you go, just give him more time on the pitch. He just gets better and better and better. And you tell me that his current tonight on the pitch, it's as good as anyone else we've got on the pitch. So why not play him? And he's 19. God, someone started a 15-year-old the other day. I forget where it was, but yeah, there's a 15-year-old starter. Yeah, so there we go. I do look forward to seeing Thompson play for us. It'll be interesting to see whether he's the new Matty James position. I'm not sure, Thompson. I mean, I don't know enough about him, but I'm looking forward to see it. Hats off to Lee. He did a good job tonight. He was super excited for Harry Ashfield. He passed that ball to Ashfield. He actually called for it back. He put his hands out like this. He wanted the ball back at his feet, but Ashfield took the goal, scored it. But first player to Ashfield to congratulate him, Elliot Lee. So, yeah, fantastic. Yep. We looked great in the second half, Mike. You're absolutely right. Chris, you're saying Harry became a real championship player today. I think he already was, but anyway, that's okay. Ashfield needs to stay. I think he's going to stay because he doesn't count in the 25, and that's an extra squad member, and he's shown he can play. So, yeah. So, I think that's absolutely right. There we go. Hip Karma's agreeing with me. I love it when people agree with me. It makes me sound smart. So, and that's hard to do. Yep. I loved Ashfield's sharp turn in midfield. Plus, he leaned into his physical challenges more now. Exactly right. He's willing to, and someone mentioned a lot earlier in the chat that he gives away free kicks and things like that. But sometimes you have to. That's just the way it is. So yeah, sometimes you have to. It is interesting. So let Ashfield start one more cup match and maybe. Well, see, Tess, that's the pessimist. I'm the optimist. I'm like, get him in there now. Get him on the bench. He is going to get a start. Can become right at the end of a blowout, low risk. Yep, that's fair. Yep, I'm happy with that. Yep, so there we go. I didn't see the warm-ups, unfortunately, Patrick. I was doing the game day build-up, so I don't know. Carolyn HR, Ashy man of the match. I don't know about that. There were some good players on the pitch tonight. Ryan Hardy scored an absolute banger. I thought Doyle was great in defence. It's really hard to pick. Really hard to pick. Good team effort is what I'll say. Look, do you agree Dave needs to bulk up a bit? That'll happen over time. So Doyle is going to be a different maker. He might be the best player in the league. Well, Carol, I hope you're right. That's all I can say about that. Yeah. So let's see. So Ashfield has great going forward, but what impressed me most is that he got stuck in and broke up the game as well. He was definitely a right side attacker, and it was interesting, him and Barney, and we did tend to do a little bit more attacking on the left though, so it didn't get shown as much. If you actually watch back a bit, especially in the second half, there was a fair bit of attack coming in down our left side, but not that it mattered. That's good. We're threatening on both sides. Doyle had to be man of the match, says John Olsen. There you go. Put in the comments who you think should be man of the match, people. Yeah. I'm not sure. So, really interesting. But I mean, absolute great game, great result. We've gone through to the next round. Ooh, Ken Pritchard. There we go. Just a quick one. In your opinion, who should be our number one goalkeeper? We have two. Well, actually, we have three goalkeepers. Three great goalkeepers. Callum Burton can't even get a look in. But I'm still leaning towards Danny Ward. He is, just remember, people forget, this guy was a backup premiership keeper. Now, you don't get to be that unless you are super, super high quality. In the future, who's going to be our number one? When we're in the Prem, I might be surprised if AO is our number one keeper by the time we get to the Prem. But for now, in my opinion, it's Danny Ward. But both very good, seriously. So, so what a great problem to have. My Birmingham team should have won. Well, what do you do? I mean, I don't know. They lost 1-0, I think. Let me go just have a quick sticky beak here. Yeah, they did. I think they lost 1-0. I have to go back to all the results. And I'm just looking in there now. It is full time today. There we are. Yeah, they lost 1-0 to Port Vale. Shows you how much I was paying attention to them. I'm sure John's at home crying, but that's okay. Yeah, so Ashley looked great. Definitely belongs at our level. From Carolyn HR. All our strikers look good and are scoring. Absolutely. And on that, I mean, Jack Marriott, what a great servant to the club, but there's just not room for him. So, there we go. So Arthur, his distribution is lacking, but can bail you out with his shot. Exactly, John. Like they're slightly different keepers. They're apples and oranges a little bit, but both fantastic for different reasons. Maurice Jones, Hardy, man of the match for the goal. That goal, what an absolute banger. Oh my God. And I was looking down, not at the TV when it happened. I looked back up at the replay and went, oh my God, what a goal. What an absolute goal. We now have an embarrassment of riches with our keepers. Don't forget, when Callum Burton came on last year, he looked like he was better than AO in stages. So, not all the time, but in stages, I definitely think. So, our number 3 keeper is plenty good enough, in my opinion. So, that didn't go in for Preston. AO had all covered. Yeah, George, he's a great keeper. This is just it, Ward doesn't punch that one or two. Oh, I don't agree with you there, Chris. You have a look at some of the saves that Ward done. And in case you don't forget, Ward saved us against Sheffield Wednesday. Saved us. So, interesting. Hey, Ken, what players do you think will depart before the window closes? Interesting. Okay. Well, John Olsen said Mendy, Palmer, Evans, Tom O'Connor. It's a really tough one. We're doing the transfer deadline show, and I think Mendy's gone, in my opinion. I did have Elliot Lee going, in my opinion. That's probably my shock one. There's no guarantee. What would I know? But I'm just bringing up the squad now so I can give you some other opinions on that, because it's very hard to narrow it down to 25. Absolutely. So it does make it quite tricky to pick. After tonight, I think Evans has to go, says Tess. Well, there we go. So, look, Evans played great tonight, but, the question is, do we have enough backup in that position? So Matty James is staying. He's obviously started so far this season, so he's ahead of Evans, obviously. Is Thomas in that same position who's been out injured? If he is 2 enough in that position, and do you get rid of Evans? Don't know. Well, obviously, all 3 keepers stay. Brunt stays, Cleworth stays. O'Connell probably stays because he can play out on the side as well as in the middle. Obviously, Cody's in, Kakache's in. I think Mendy's gone. I think Dan Scar's gone. Unfortunately, I like Scar, but I think he's gone. Aaron James, because of his age, I think he'll stay or go out on loan. Max Purvis probably out on loan. McLean stays. Andy Cannon's injured and he'll just won't be in the squad list, but he'll be retained, obviously. Josh Windass obviously stays. George Evans, unsure on that one. I can't say yes or no there yet. Thomason obviously stays. Dobbo stays. Rathbone stays. Stash could be gone. Josh will hate that one lying in bed, but Stash could be gone. And tell me what you think, people. If you disagree with me, just say, tell me. I'm fine with that. Rev gone. O'Brien stays. Barnett stays. Matty James stays. Elliot Lee, I've said, is gone. Alex Moore out on loan. Harry Ashfield stays. Longman stays, obviously. Ryan Hardy stays. Jack Marriott is already gone. J-Rod, gone, in my opinion. Kieffer Moore obviously stays. Mo Farl already out on loan. Smith stays. Ollie Palmer, gone. Callum Edwards out on loan. James Ravenbird out on loan. So there we go. And then so it's the website's a little bit slow in updating because it doesn't have Callum Doyle in here yet. Lee and Evans have to stay. They're the clubs. Patrick Oden. Well, maybe that might be a key prerequisite. to being part of the squad. You have to be a model. J-Rod, I think, will be injured like Cannon retained, but not in the squad. There is rumours going around that J-Rod might hang up the boots, but I could be wrong there. So that's rumours, people, rumours. Interesting. Cambridge Big Charlton. Ken Boss stays, but where the hell is Aaron, please? Actually, Aaron's gone. We traded him. We haven't even sent him out on loan. Literally, he was supposed to come in here today, and his missus pulled rank on him. His missus said, no, we're going out. Now, it's just a lack of commitment, people. That's like not turning up to training. Just saying, I'm going to say it now. So if you can't turn up to training, you don't make the squad. So it's simple. Yep, absolutely. There we go. There it is. Yep, absolutely. Gone. The only thing that could possibly save Aaron if he does a banger of a transfer deadline show. If he can pull that off, he's a chance of staying. So that's what I'll say there. Maurice Doyle, man of the match. Yeah, well, people are loving Doyle, and he was good. If we sign two, his passing his vision is good. If we sign two more midfield players, then we might need to be ruthless. Yep. Well, yeah. And look, everybody, we're all get emotional about these great players. Like I've loved Elliot Lee and some of the stuff he's done for the club, but I'm looking at it just in the cold hard facts of, when I go through and I'll start to do the count. Let's see if we can do the count. So keepers count, remember? So 3 keepers. That's 3. Brunt 4, Clearworth 5, Cody 6, Kikache 7, and I won't count under 21s. 7, McLean 8, Windass 9. I'll keep Evans for now because we haven't signed other players yet. Evans 10, Thomason 11, Dobson 12, Rathbone 13, O'Brien 14, Barnett 15, Matty James 16, Longman 17, Hardy 18, Moore 19, Smith 20. Oh, God. I can keep heaps more players. I'm at the end of the list. I can keep 5 more. Okay, Ollie Palmer's staying. Who else is staying? Mendy's staying. So, there you go. I've just gone through the whole squad list there. Oh, sorry, Callum Doyle's 21. So there you go, 21. 21. I've still got 4 more players I can keep. But I've gotten rid of Palmer. I've gotten rid of Rodriguez. I've gotten rid of Elliot Lee. And I got rid of Tom O'Connor. Now, that's what I've said I've gotten rid of, but just remember, I've still got 4 to keep. So even if we signed 2 more, we could still keep 2 of these ones that I'm calling out now. I kept Evans there before, to remember too. So now if we signed 2 more midfielders, Evans probably does go, but does that? But what would you prefer to keep? Is it 3 coming in though, Patrick? Is it 3 or is it 2? Is it 1? I have a feeling we'll get an announcement tomorrow. I'm fairly sure on that. Now, let's just have a look at this. To be fair to Aaron, he has had a few players listed in his preseason transfer predictions be signed this window. However, I agree, Ken, no excuses. Yeah, John, he did sign people early, but there's no room in the local pundit for sentiment. Just none. So if he doesn't have a big game in the transfer deadline show, could be on the chopping block. Just saying. Yeah, when is the next draw for the Cup? Bernie G, should be tomorrow, I would have thought. Should be tomorrow. There's more games tomorrow. And after those, I would imagine, well, sometimes it's announced before it, and it's like, Wrexham versus the winner of, like tomorrow there's Fulham v Bristol, Everton v Mansfield, Oxford v Brighton, and Grimsby v Man United. So, yeah, interesting. Tomorrow after the Man U game is the draw. There you go. So, John Emlett has announced that there. Someone did put it up earlier too. I don't know whether it was you, John. J-Rod is on the long-term injured list, so he's unlikely to be on the list. Yeah, so he may be not named in the squad and just kept until January just in case. I mean, who knows? That's a great call, Hip Karma. Yeah. Chris Wright, that would be amazing for me. That Liverpool's been my team when I first, because we had Australians playing there when I was a young fella. So let's think about that. Would you want it at home at Wrexham, or would you like to go to Anfield? Imagine that. Full stadium at Anfield. That'd be pretty amazing. Yeah. And Joey, exactly right, John. Can you imagine the support for the late Joey Jones? It would just be an absolute banger. Like, we can keep our fingers crossed for a draw like that. Who knows? Who knows? So, yeah, I don't actually, Patrick, that's a good question. I don't know who else has been. Look, there's probably others. Yep. Anfield for the fans, George, I agree. That would be amazing. Does Jordan Davies still play for Grimsby? Will be playing against Man United tomorrow. I have to check that one out. I'll be able to watch that one tomorrow. Interesting. So, yeah, but I'll tell you what. Well, we get to have these great conversations because we just had a great win. Now, guys, don't forget, hit the like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, consider becoming a member. Because there are members-only shows just for our members, which are obviously great, worth watching, because other people are on them, not me. So yeah, I think, and obviously for those of you that don't know the geography, Liverpool very close to Wrexham, so it's only a short trip. So yeah, would be very interesting. Wales will call up players this weekend. Moore, Broadhead, and possibly Ward will be called up. There you go. John's on it, and that's true. So, and look, why wouldn't they call up Kieffer Moore? Look at how well he played, in his last couple of games. So, interesting. And the fact that we're getting players now that are getting called up for international duty just shows how strong our squad is becoming. So, yeah, I think it's a really good sign of things to come. And I can't wait to see the future now going forward. I have no doubt we're going to start winning games in the championship. We've just got to be a little bit patient, people. But I'll tell you what, I'm seeing the makings of a very, very, very good team coming together. And, anybody that's watching these games, if you can't see that, then I don't know what you're looking at, because I think it's absolutely the truth going forward. Well, look, guys, no one else jumping in. So we might call it. It's been great to have you on. It's been nearly 45 minutes. So what a great win. Let's wrap it up. Let's have a think about it now. I'll just do the quick wrap up for you as I go back to the game. So obviously 3-2 to Wrexham away at Preston North End. Dobbin scoring in the 7th minute for Preston. We reply with Ryan Hardy banger in the 11th minute. Then Liam Lindsay scores in the 32nd minute for Preston. And that was the score at halftime. We went in down 2-1 at halftime. We came out a good team. We absolutely did a great job. Harry Ashfield, great goal, good connection with Elliot Lee, good goal, 59th minute. Then subs came on. Everything started to happen. Kieffer Moore, 5 minutes of extra time added in the 92nd minute. Kieffer Moore, Johnny on the spot, scores the goal. Wrexham wins 3-2. And on that bombshell, guys, don't forget to tune in. Oh, wait up before I go. Massive thanks to George Williams for your super chat, $50. Really appreciate it. Guys, don't forget, we will have shows tomorrow and the next day and the next day. They are coming thick and fast. This is your place to be if you want to understand everything Wrexham and Championship, because we do talk about all the other teams as well. So on that bombshell, we will see you all again soon.